Hey, this is Matt from InvestiQuant. Today is Wednesday, August 12th, 2020. And this morning we saw the markets gap up, and then the ES and the NASDAQ pretty much pushed straight off the open to higher prices. Now, we've seen some divergence with the Russell and the YM, where the price action has not been anything like what we've seen in the ES and the NASDAQ. But what I want to do this afternoon is take a look at what has happened historically when we have a pattern like we have here in the ES and the NASDAQ that is developing. And that pattern is gapping up and running directly from the open and holding up near the highs going into the close of the session. So let's set that up in Discover. And the way that we will do that is we will select all four instruments, even though this will not be applicable for the YM or the Russell today. We'll use an intraday time-based entry, and I can use an entry time of, let's do 3 o'clock. And then it'll be set up as a long. So it'll get long at 3 p.m. and it will exit at 4:15 p.m. Eastern time. For the opening filters, I'm simply going to say that we gapped up this morning, and then I'm going to go into the post-open filters to describe this price action that we have seen intraday. And that price action is we have opened in the bottom 10% of the intraday range. So it's this bottom option right here that gives us the pattern where you're pushing off the open to the upside. And then at 3 p.m., I'm going to say we are closing in the top 25% of the intraday range. So we're there now. I have no idea if we will be there at 3 p.m., but currently we are trading in the top 25% of the intraday range. And then lastly, I'm going to go into the indicators and put us in a bullish environment, which is going to be above a 10-day moving average and above a 200-day moving average. Then click View Results. And here we go. So these are the results of going long at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, exiting at the close 4:15 p.m. Eastern Time when you gap up and are above a 10 and 200-day moving average. And then after you gap up, you run off the open to the upside. And we are defining that by saying the open is in the bottom 10% of the intraday range. And then at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, you are trading in the top 25% of the intraday range. So this is forming a very green candle. There's almost no wick on the bottom, and it is trading near the highs of the session as well at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So historically, when this has happened and you enter at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, our results show up on the right with sample sizes for the ES coming in at 73, NASDAQ 90, YM 84, and Russell 69. Looking at the win rates on these, historically, the ES just a little bit under 50-50 at 48%. NASDAQ a little bit weaker, closer to 44%. YM 48%, and Russell a little bit weaker as well, 43%. So none of these show strong win rates. NASDAQ and Russell show a little bit weak. ES and YM are a bit more neutral. So the win rate's not really indicative of anything there. It's just mildly weak for those two. But NASDAQ has been a little bit weak historically. Looking at the average win to average loss, though, we are seeing the average loss on the ES is quite a bit larger than the average win. And that holds true for the NASDAQ as well. So the average loss there, $184 versus $115 on the average win. It looks like YM and Russell are a little bit closer to even on theirs. Not a real sizable difference between those two. But ES and NASDAQ have both had larger average moves on the downside historically with this pattern. And the win rates on them just mildly weak. So hopefully you found that interesting. Good luck the rest of the day, and we will see you next time.